All right. It's a beautiful day out. So today is Wednesday. So Wednesday, I think it's the 16th maybe? I don't know. I got home really late Sunday night, so I've been home a little more than 48 hours, man, and that's it. And yeah, it's been kind of a whirlwind a little bit. So first of all, let me catch you up on what's going on in the Wingit world, man, in my life. So chaos is organized chaos as usual, man. So as I went to the airport, as you guys know, I was kind of displaced because I summited on the 6th, and I just got home, and I'm still not settled in yet. Really haven't accomplished a whole lot of anything because I was displaced from Milton and had to go to Hurricane Milton. I had to go to Western New York and Rochester and visit my cousins, and really enjoyed doing that again and seeing them again. And finally flew home Sunday night, and then when I get to the airport, my daughter's gonna come get me and in her car, but she informs me that my car is broken down and that the power steering went out. So essentially, I got home and I have all these things to do, like make doctor's appointments and get to my storage shed and organize my stuff and find a place to live. Because if you remember, I've been living outside for a year now. I gave away all my possessions last October and moved down to a tent by choice. And guess what happens when you give away all your possessions and then come home a year later? You don't have any possessions. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know if I'm going to go back to normal, quote unquote, normal society and get another place and settle down and fall back into, the things that I was doing before. And I'm just not sure yet. So, but I don't have to know, man. And what I want to talk about today is the transition, man, from the trail to here, and what I learned on the trail, and just what it's like on the trail compared to here. And I've gotten so many calls, messages lately from other thru hikers who have finished and went home, and they feel this depression, or this, I don't even want to call it depression, this transition, right, to where it's just different, and there's a longing for what the trail provides. And so I want to talk about that. What is it that the trail provides, and why is it different, and what makes it different, and certainly, how it relates to my life. What is the trail? And in the grand scheme of things, it is just simple. It is the simple things. You don't have to worry about a whole lot out there. You have to worry about walking, water, and resupply. And that's really about it. There's no family drama, there's no work issues, there's no politics, there's no religious conflict, there's no news cycle, there's no doom and gloom. It is walking, water, and food, and it's very, very basic and simple, and it's the goodness in humanity constantly. It is seeing the trail angels and people that are so kind and offering you rides or a place to stay, or helping you, complete strangers, on your journey. And it is the relationships that you build with people that even at home, that aren't even on the trail, that are following your journey and encouraging me or other people, and just so supportive. And then it is you out there on the trail with a similar odyssey or journey that everybody else is on out there. And the premise of my channel, I don't talk about religion a lot. I don't talk about politics ever, and because my philosophy in life is to be inclusive and not exclusive, and to accept people for their beliefs and their ideology. And it doesn't, and the trail is a beautiful example of being inclusive, right? It doesn't matter if somebody is you know, blue collar or white collar, or if somebody is Christian or Jewish or Amish or you know, any other religion, or it doesn't matter if somebody is conservative or liberal. We all have a similar journey and a similar path, and we find unity in the simple things in life. So there's rarely any conflict. There's rarely any debate. It is keeping the things very simple. It's walking, water, resupply, and shelter. And that's it. And it's very, very beautiful, man. It's you know, it reinforces my ideology that less is more, and that letting go of that control is where you find the power, right? The power isn't trying to obtain control, it is letting go of control, and then you feel the power because you're no longer bothered by trying to wrestle things out of life. And so I've gotten a bunch of phone calls from people that have hiked, and they're asking me how I feel, and they're asking me, you know, they're ready to come back, and you know, they miss seeing the stars and the clarity in the stars, or the simple way of life, and I could see where it's difficult for people to come back and transition back into work and society, and you know, paying bills, and it's election year and it's around the corner, and when you get a flat tire, the flat tire doesn't cause the suffering. The flat tire is a flat tire. You get out and you change the tire. Who causes my day to be ruined? That's me. Only me. Because I sit there and I attach myself to that flat tire, and oh, I have such bad luck, and it's just been a horrible day. And so when I come home from the trail, it's a different experience. It is division everywhere you're at. It is not a uniform mission anymore, right? Of everybody trying to get from A to B. It is division. It is separation. It is politics. It's a sign in every other yard. It is my beliefs are more important than your beliefs, and this is right and that is wrong. And I have, fortunately enough, been freed from most of that. For me, I've come to this realization for my life, and it doesn't mean it's right. It's just my experience that it doesn't matter to me who wins politically, right? All in all, my life doesn't change very much because I strive for unity. And whoever wins, if the left wins, half of the country on the right are upset and divided. If the right wins, half of the country on the left is upset and divided. And the last I checked, half of unity is division. So it doesn't matter who wins. The country as a whole, the macro of us, is still divided on particular issues. And when you come home and you don't have a similar journey anymore, and you have this division, and you have disgruntled people, and you have a 24-hour news cycle, and you have worldly clamors, right? Distractions, vehicles breaking down, not having a place to live, having to go back to work, having to, you know, argue about politics or certain ideologies and beliefs that we have. And for me, fortunately enough for me, I don't have those. I have to chop wood and carry a water stool. There's a whole lot more wood to chop out here than there is on the trail, but it's still just chopping wood and carrying water. And it's handling the things that are right in front of me, and I can easily get caught up in the scrums or the division amongst people on the hot button topic issues like religion and politics. But for me, I've been blessed to overcome those. I stay neutral, and that works for me. So I'll say this. John Quincy Adams, who was our second president, our first vice president, wrote a letter to George Washington, I don't know, 240, maybe 240 something years ago. And that letter said that his biggest concern was the division of this great republic into two parties, each in opposition of each other, and that in his humble apprehension is the greatest political evil, or is the greatest evil under our Constitution. He warned us about a two-party system that will divide this country, and 240 something years later, we still have a two-party system that divides this country. So just think about that a little bit. And I choose not to be divided. I choose to respect people's opinions and beliefs, and not wrestle or try to control them in my favor. And there's also a line in the Tao Te Ching that says, the great Tao runs both left and right. And it loves and fulfills all things. And it does not lord over them. And when great accomplishments are achieved, it takes no merit. And that's a beautiful way that I try to look at life. I take no credit. I don't lord over them. And I realize that God blesses people on the left and the right. It's singular, it's unity, it's not division. So, and I don't know what other people struggle with, if that's part of their struggle, but I see it here, and I see the political angst, and I see the, post-hurricane here, and I do long for the simplicity of the trail, right? And of less is more, of letting go of things, and then the paradox of life, when you let go, give it away, and it always comes back in various ways. So I do want to share a video about what I've learned or what I've unlearned, and it really relates to this too. So I'll summarize it here real quick. Is that Ram Dass has a teaching that he says, when you've been looking down your whole life, and you've been looking down at the dredges of society and the suffering of man and the wars and the addiction and the famines and the plagues and the homicides and the killings and just the animosity, and you've been looking at that your entire life, you could see it in the soil, and you finally look up and you see the Himalayas for the first time. You see the divine, you see the beauty, you see God. Guess what you don't ever want to do again? You don't ever want to look down again. But here's the trick. You can walk towards the Himalayas all you want, but you'll never get there by keeping your eye on the Himalayas. You have to keep one eye on the ground and one eye on God, and you have to walk that path, and that's how you get there spiritually to the Himalayas. That's how you get closer to the divine or God. So what I've learned is the simple thing is to run back to the trail and the simplicity of life, but am I just turning a blind eye to the suffering of humanity and to the people that are really struggling? Am I just walking away from things that might be difficult or uncomfortable? So for me, I have to keep an eye right here and I have to keep an eye on the spiritual matter. So it is not killing the ego completely. Ego isn't bad, right? Ego allows me to experience this as an individual. So it's keeping my eye on both. It is accepting both. It is accepting that I have perseverance, I have resiliency, I have fortitude, and I have willpower. Not because I did anything, but because my experiences over life have shaped me to be blessed with those and to grow those organically. Even my addiction, even my struggles, even my suffering. Growth is painful, man. Think about it. None of us grow. Why would we even try to grow when we're happy or content? We grow through that struggle and that pain. So I'm glad to be home. I do miss the trail, but when I was on trail, I missed home. So I don't know if any of this made sense. I don't know what it sounds like. I just turned it on and talked, man. And I guess my Ram Dass story of that has opened my eyes a little bit too. It's really easy to say, I don't support a political system that's divisive, but am I just turning my eye away? Am I just shunning responsibility? Am I just turning off things that make me uncomfortable today? I don't know. But I appreciate you guys. Got some really cool stuff coming up. I am still in like transition, obviously, and probably will be for the rest of this week. But I'm enjoying just being still. All right.